Another day, another game against a potential playoff team for the Tribe. The A's come to Cleveland, having won 8 of their last 10, and just took 2 out of 3 from a red-hot Rays team. Roberto Hernandez makes his first start of the year here at Progressive Field, and he'll try to get his first win next on Sports Time Ohio. Been a rainy afternoon in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, with the skies starting to clear up. Indians and A's getting ready to open up a 4-game series tonight here at Progressive Field. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Tribe was just out in Oakland on their most recent West Coast trip, and Oakland beat them up, and they did it with good pitching, which is usually their M.O.
Well, it is, and there was one guy in the lineup that was very, very good. Yoenis Cespedes hit the ball all over the Coliseum in that series, and he, I think, is their best hitter. When you put him in the lineup, he's their number 3 hitter. He used the whole field against the Indians. He drives in runs, and he was playing center fielder earlier in the year. He is now playing left field. But when you look at the Oakland A's, the best record in baseball since June 12th. And I mean, you go back, and this is a team full of rookies. They have had 18 rookies this year. They've been 43-22, hanging with the big boys, and you're waiting for something to happen.
Not one of the teams you expected to be doing this kind of thing this late into the season, but here they are, pushing hard for a wild card spot in the American League. Let's take a look at our Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup tonight as Roberto Hernandez looking for that first win.
You know, his second start was much better. He was matched up against Felix Hernandez. He matched him toe-for-toe for 6 innings, and then in the 7th inning, he got a couple guys on. The first 3 guys reached. He walked out. They ended up getting beat 5-1. So you have to remember, this is only going to be his 3rd start of the year. He'll be matched up against Brett Anderson.
And it's only his 2nd start of the year for Oakland. Get to a Nissan dealer for special offers on innovation that excites.
Well, and Brett Anderson coming off Tommy John surgery. He had that middle of last July. And this guy is a quality left-hander, number 1 in a rotation, if healthy. As you said, he's making only his 2nd start, 1-0 in 3 starts against the Indians in his career.
And since 2010, no team has shut out the Indians more than the Oakland A's. 6 times since then, their pitchers have blanked the Indians. We're back with a play-by-play action between the Tribe and the A's next on Sports Time Ohio. And we welcome you into Progressive Field as the Indians take the field ready to battle the Oakland A's in front of a very small gathering tonight here at Progressive Field. Roberto Hernandez on the hill making his first start at home this year. 0-2 on the road. Let's take a look at the lineup he will face for Bob Melvin's Oakland A's. That's brought to you by Kia. Coco Crisp will lead it off, then it's Stephen Drew, followed by Yoenis Cespedes. Seth Smith hitting cleanup, then Chris Carter and Josh Reddick. Josh Donaldson hit 7th. Derek Norris, the catcher, batting 8th. And Cliff Pennington, who's moved from shortstop to second base, will hit 9th.
And it'll be Roberto Hernandez on the mound for the Indians, making his 3rd start. Is brought to you by MLB.com at Bat 12. Celebrate 10 years of live baseball with MLB.TV. Premium for only $10. His 3rd start, he's looking for his first win. This will be his first start here at Progressive Field. And in his last start, he pitched well for 6 innings, gave up 3 hits. But in the 7th, he went out there, and the first 3 batters reached. It wasn't his fault, though. They went to the bullpen. Ishmael Rogers gave up a 3-run home run to Montero, so he was charged with 4 runs in that start. In his career, he is 4-6 against the Oakland A's. And let's set the defense behind him tonight. It's Duncan in left, Brantley in center, Chu is in right. Donald at 3rd, Lillibridge at short, Kipnis at 2nd, Laporta's at 1st, and Marson behind the plate.
Scott Berry will call the balls and strikes. Jerry Meals at 1st, the crew chief Gary Darling at 2nd, Paul Emmel down at 3rd. And a strike over the inside corner to Coco Crisp. .75 our game time temperature as Coco Crisp looks at a ball outside, and it's 1-1. Swung on and missed.
Coco ended up having a pretty good series against the Indians back in Oakland. Remember, he had the 5 RBIs in the one game. He is now in the leadoff spot.
That's slash fouling out of play. Hernandez takes a look in. Marson calling for a changeup, and he bounced it in front of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Oakland winners in 8 of their last 10 ball games, including their last 2 over Tampa. Tribe dropped 2 out of 3 to New York. 23 of their last 28 overall. Off the end of the bat foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Coco Crisp. Now the wind and the 2-2. Hit to right. Chu coming on. Really coming hard and dives to make the catch. He had to go into that front foot slide, and he's able to grab it for out number 1.
One of those plays where it goes off the end of the bat and it's a big swing and you can get fooled as an outfielder. So he had a long run to come get it, but he makes it, makes a sliding catch. It'll be out number 1.
Stephen Drew. The A's just acquired him right after we left Oakland on that last West Coast road trip. Picked him up from Arizona. And then when they did that, they moved Cliff Pennington, who had really struggled this year, from shortstop over to second base. And then Jamile Weeks, who had struggled at second base, was sent back down to AAA. Drew with a line drive to right field. He's got a base hit. Drew coming back from a fractured ankle with Arizona, but the Diamondbacks had kind of said, well, you know what, we're going to stay with Willie Bloomquist. So they moved the younger player in Drew and the contract.
Well, he missed the rest of last year, after breaking that ankle, and they had to rebuild it and starting out in spring training, because when we were out there in spring training, you could see he was working his way back, and it just took him a long time to get back. And, when you win, like Arizona did last year, you're expected to come right back and get into the swing of things. You can't sit and wait back.
But it was an unusual move for Oakland, Rick, in that they took on salary, and that normally is the opposite of how they do business.
That is true.
Yoenis Cespedes looks at a strike.
Well, Melvin was back. He managed in Arizona, and he knew Drew. So that there may be something there.
Mm-hmm. Obviously felt like, hey, here's a guy I can count on. I know what I can get out of him.
I know what I'm getting. If he's healthy and that ankle is good, he can help this ball club. As you said, Ricky Weeks, or not Ricky Weeks, but Jamal Weeks was struggling offensively. So we can move Pennington, the switch hitter, over to second base, and we'll try that. So
Oakland feels like they've got a shot. They might as well make a run for it.
You got to go for it with as many kids as they have. 9 rookies on the team right now.
12 games over 500 coming into play today. Low and away. Now they're 5.5 out in the West behind front-running Texas. But with that wild card and the addition of an extra wild card, they're right there. 3 teams within a half game of each other.
They're tied with Baltimore, really, for that second spot.
Yep.
So you have to go for it, I would think. When you get to the end of September and you have an opportunity to make it, you have got to go for it.
The 2-1. And Cespedes fouling it off of his foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a look at the AL West, and look at the Angels slip sliding away.
Who would ever figure that the A's would be ahead of the Angels, the money that they spent in the offseason, and with the team that they have?
By 4 full games, they're ahead of them, too.
And I mean, granted, they're going to play the rest of the month, in September, but still, they are right there.
Again, a foul by Cespedes, and the A's and Angels will meet 7 more times before the season is over. And the A's also have
a rough schedule
games
in September.
Left. Actually, 7 games left with Texas also. So they've got 7 with the Angels, 7 with the Rangers.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule the rest of the way in September. What do they have? 17 out of 20 on the road, coming up against some very good teams.
Not to mention a trip to New York. 2-2 pitch, another foul back. So we're 3 batters in, and she's up to 15 pitches. Stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. And Oakland has, one of the toughest schedules to go.
Seattle, L.A., Detroit, New York, and Texas on the road. They play well at home. That's a good ballpark to pitch in out in Oakland.
Another foul back.
Boy, this guy, he's their best hitter, and he's been impressive this year. For his first year over here in the United States, defecting from Cuba, he can swing the bat. He takes a healthy cut, and what I like about him, he uses the whole field. He's not a dead pull hitter.
So again, Cespedes will take aim at this 2-2 pitch. And he fouls it off again. He's beating himself up.
Yes, he is. He may knock himself out of the game. What's that, 3 off his foot?
Bob Melvin and the A's trainer, Nick Paparesta.
You got to come on out. Just give him some time.
Hit it right off the instep.
He's going to feel like he was dancing with elephants. Ouch. That's what that sinker will do. When that ball starts moving in and you try and dig it and get it out of there, you got to go straight down. He'll come up with some cement shoes the next time.
Talking about the A's and the rest of their schedule, based on who they play and their winning percentage, they've got the 5th toughest sled the rest of the way. Right ahead of them, the Angels.
Well, remember, with the Yankees in this weekend, they had one of the easiest schedules going when you're talking about winning percentage, and right ahead of them, it was Detroit and Chicago that had the easier than them.
Tampa Bay's got the toughest. Again, it's just based on winning percentage of the teams that they're facing. As Cespedes continues to fight pitch off after pitch.
That's 6 foul balls. And that one just didn't miss by much. We'll see what gives first, his foot or a base hit. This is a tough at-bat.
Carmona just keeps firing him in there.
This is a good battle. Never facing him before. He's going up there, and they continue to throw him those sinkers in. 10 pitch at bat. 7 foul balls.
Obviously, he doesn't want to try to throw him a sinker away, maybe a comeback sinker over the outside corner. We would have seen it by now.
Well, either that or it may go off his forehead. I mean, he's pulling everything in.
Off the fist.
And they're staying in. They're giving him nothing away. Boy, this is a classic at-bat here. I think it's safe to say he's seen everything Carmona has to offer in his first at-bat. Now they're going away.
And he missed a full count. That was a changeup. This will be the 13th pitch of this at bat. Drilled down the left field line. It is a fair ball. I mean, he hit a laser. The throw way off the mark at second base. In with a double is Cespedes. A 13 pitch at bat, and he got every bit of that ball from Carmona.
That is something, I'll tell you what. What a terrific at bat by Yoenis Cespedes. He ends up hitting a bullet down the left field line. You kept pitching him in, and he saw everything Carmona had coming in, and hits a liner off the wall. So it'll be second and third and 1 out, and boy, what a battle. He's going to have some sore feet doing it, but at least for his sake, he ended up with a double.
He'll need some padded shower shoes when this one's over. Seth Smith, the DH, looks at a ball in the dirt.
I think those guys will wheel him in. He won't have to walk in if he keeps swinging it like that.
Yeah, they'll carry him in.
We didn't see Smith in Oakland when we were out there. He was on the disabled list. But he is back, and you got Reddick, who has moved down in the lineup.
Off the end of the bat to deep left center. Back is Brantley, still going back, makes the catch. Tagging at third and coming home is Stephen Drew. Cespedes moves from second to third. Oakland takes a 1-0 lead on Smith's 41st run batted in on the year. And that's first inning run for Oakland, and it's been a problem for the Indians a lot in the last couple of months.
Well, when you look at the numbers overall, it's been a tough year for them in the first inning. They've given up more runs in the first inning than they have any other inning. That's 97 first inning runs. But, I mean, when you look at them, the opponents have scored 93 in the fourth and 95 in the fifth. So that tells you that they're playing from behind a lot. And they're going to start again tonight in this series, a 4-game series starting behind.
Two balls and a strike. Carter he's a big man with
a lot of power.
Good power indeed.
Yep.
11
He sure
homers. Broke his bat, lines out to third to end the frame. Oakland gets on the board first. The Indians are coming to bat. Starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Jason Kipnis, Jason Donald, and Shin-Soo Choo. Then Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, and Shelley Duncan. Brent Lillibridge, Matt Laporta, and Lou Marson. Left-hander Brett Anderson fires a first pitch strike to Kipnis. Anderson making his second start. Works in a hurry. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yes, he does work in a hurry, and he had the surgery last July 11th and is back, and this guy was slated as a #1 for them. But young pitchers, seems like everybody has Tommy John surgery now, at least once. His lone start came against the Minnesota Twins.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Breaking ball, and Kipnis got a piece of that to hang in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
This being just his second start, I said that first one against Minnesota where he went 7 innings, he gave up 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6. But that's nothing new because the Oakland starters don't walk anybody.
And Kipnis strikes out. A's starters have walked 2 or less in their last 22 games.
Yeah, that's I mean, when you look at him, it's fantastic. You're going to have to hit him and beat him. There's a nice slider. Look at that, the tilt at 84 after throwing a 94-mile-an-hour fastball down and away for a strike. That's a tough pitch. But, yeah, they don't give up base runners. They're last in the league in walks as a team, second in ERA, and it's a young pitching staff.
And when you say last, you mean the best.
Yes, giving up the least number of walks, 356 walks compared to the Indians have given up 439, which is the second worst. Toronto's given up 444. So that's almost 100 base runners more.
Donald chases one up around the letters. It's 0-2.
They've given up 111 home runs as a team, which is tied with Tampa. And Tampa, by the way, leads the league, and they just came from Tampa where they beat them 2 out of 3.
High fastball took off on Anderson. Well, that's the other thing that I guess when you look at it, when you look at what Oakland has done, it's all the more impressive. This guy was supposed to be their ace. and he hasn't even been here.
Right, he hasn't even pitched. But what a timing for the A's with Cologne going out.
Couldn't ask it to be any better. 2 down. Shin-Soo Choo coming up.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot A's defense behind Anderson this evening. It's Cespedes in left, Crisp in center, Reddick is in right. Donaldson at third, Drew is at short, Pennington at second, Carter at first with Doris behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot. Yeah, the timing for Anderson couldn't have been any better with the news of Bartolo Colon on the PEDs, and he's suspended for 50 games. And Colon, that was right after the game he pitched against the Tribe.
Choo, a one-hop smash to short, and Drew throws him out. The Indians go 1-2-3. Oakland 1, Cleveland nothing.
Is brought to you by McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers.
Josh Reddick will lead off for Oakland, then Josh Donaldson and Derek Norris. Reddick, a .252 hitter, but he has really struggled of late, which is why he's dropped down in the batting order. You see there, he leads the team in homers. 25 bombs. And he sends a long drive for number 26 right here. He can still crush. The problem is he hasn't been able to get enough hits to keep himself up in the lineup of late. But if he continues to do that, Bob Melvin won't have any problem putting him back up there. He was only hitting a .173 in his last 24 games with 31 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's a strikeout guy, and the disappointing thing for Hernandez, it's an 0-2 pitch. They go 0-2 slider that's down. It speeds up his bat. If you're going to throw him, maybe bounce one, but it's an 0-2 count. And he hits it out of here, so it's a 2-0 ball game. For Hernandez, his third home run allowed.
Third or fourth?
Or excuse me, fourth.
Yeah,
you're right.
that's what I was thinking.
I'm sorry, there was two. That's right.
And that's alarming. You know, this is
for him,
a guy
for
who's
being a
always
sinker.
Relied on that heavy sinker and that 4 dingers in his first.
Well, and it wasn't the sinker
innings.
he got beat on. It was that slow hook 2-0 or that little slider of his.
2-strike pitch, and
that's one you may want to bounce because that's not his. That's his third best pitch.
Chopper up the middle. Lillibridge steps over the bag and a low throw dug out by Laporta, 1 away. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Elk & Elk, serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And that's the other thing about Oakland, what they're doing. They've been doing it with a lot of moving parts. Brandon Inge on the DL. He's played well for them. Jordan Norberto, who we saw.
Left-hander out of the bullpen.
Yeah, he's on the DL now. Dallas Braden, another guy, key guy in their rotation. Sizemore, an infielder.
Dallas Braden threw a perfect game on Mother's Day. Was it
a couple
2 years ago?
Yeah. Derek Norris took over the catcher's duties when the A's traded Kurt Suzuki. And a strike there. I guess when you look at it, Rick, when the A's moved Suzuki, it enabled them to make the trade for Drew. Because they moved his salary, and that enables them to be able to absorb the contract to Drew a little bit. I don't know the exact numbers. I don't know if it's a clean wash, but.
Well, I bet it's going to be awfully close. But you're right, when they did move him. And it gives this guy an opportunity to catch. He's not the same catcher, we can tell you that. Because the people when we talked to out in Oakland, with Suzuki back there, he knew the league, he knew the hitters, and the pitchers felt very comfortable throwing to him. As far as a mental state, going in there and handling a ball game. This guy's going to have to learn that, and it's cost the A's, they feel, a few ball games down the road already.
Way outside, 2-2.
But it's not. That's the toughest position to play when you're first getting to the major leagues as a catcher, just to call in the game and just handling your pitching staff through 9 innings. Offense is a bonus.
Down the left field line, over, and foul ball. .40 pitches already for Hernandez. The 2-2. And the reason for the elevated pitch count for Roberto has nothing to do with his inability to throw strikes. It's his inability to throw swing and miss strikes, because he had a lengthy at bat with Cespedes, 13 pitches, but half a dozen foul balls. And already an 8-pitch at bat now with Norris.
He had him down 0-2 as well.
Broke the bat. Blooped. Out goes Lillibridge to get it. 2 away. Let's get a look at the AT&T trivia question tonight. 4 players have hit 100 or more homers for 3 different teams. You figure 100 home runs, that's a pretty good chunk. So to hit 100 with 3 different teams, you got to stick around a while. 4 guys have done it. We'll have the answer coming up later. Now the 1-0. In for a strike to Cliff Pennington, who's hitting just 198. Low with that pitch. 3 balls and a strike. Bullseye with a fastball in the inside corner, and the count is full. Chopped up the first base side. And the payoff pitch once again is lined on the ground right to short. Lillibridge throws him out. Leadoff solo homer by Josh Reddick has Oakland on top now 2-0. Two 2-0 Oakland, bottom of the second inning. For the Indians, it'll be Carlos Santana, Michael Brantley, and Shelley Duncan coming up. Curveball in for strike one. And a strike call. The 0-2. Too high. Bounced in front of the plate. Way up high off the mark. Full count. Right back up the middle. Backhanded by Pennington. And from the outfield grass with that strong arm, able to throw him out easily. One down.
Yeah, he shows you that shortstop arm there.
Yes, he does. Hey, let's check in and see what Katie Witham's up to tonight.
Well, Matt, Rock and Blast returns to the ballpark this Saturday. There's still time to get your tickets if you need them. The Rangers will be in town. We'll definitely see some great baseball. And then afterwards, we'll pay tribute to some of the music from the Beatles in that Rock and Blast show. You can log on to Indians.com right now and get your tickets.
All right, thanks, Katie. Michael Brantley steps in with one out. Looks at a strike. One ball, one strike. And a little slow chopper to first. Can Anderson beat Brantley to the bag? It doesn't matter because Carter does. I think Carter looked up and saw Anderson, said, I better take this myself.
Well, it's safer if you think you can beat him. It saves you the flip of the baseball and the time, and the pitcher has to get his foot to hit the base. Anytime you're a first baseman, you have the opportunity to catch it and go to the bag, do it. And he just does beat him. You see by the time the foot comes down. And late coming into the picture, you see where Anderson slowed down and stopped. It would have been a much tougher play, I think. So Carter did the right thing. Take it yourself.
And with two down, Shelley Duncan steps in. The 1-1. Hit hard, but right into the teeth of a shift. And Drew throws him out. Indians go in order for the second inning in a row, and it's 2-0 Oakland through two. Well, as you enjoy a cold one tonight, stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Coco Crisp with a foul ball up the first baseline.
Well, that's not the swing you want to have on the first pitch.
Here's the 0-1 now. And Hernandez misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Coco Crisp. Fly to right, hit one right off the end of the bat his first time up. Almost dropped it in for a hit, but Chu made a nice sliding catch. 2-1. Ooh, wicked cut. Popped them straight up. Will it stay in play? It will not. Larson gave it a look. Couldn't get to it. The young man's got himself a souvenir.
He sure does. He didn't have far to go.
No.
Good for him. Brought the glove, hit a seat next to him, and stayed right there.
Right back.
Boy, they have about, I'm thinking 17, 18 foul balls off Fausto tonight.
Is that the official count?
That's the official from Teflon Tom.
That's 18. That's a whole inning's worth of pitches right there.
18 foul balls.
And another pop-up. This might go into foul territory. Near the line, Donald makes it in fair ground. One down.
Can plan your trip down to Progressive Field with the Indians' new transportation options. You can take the RTA rail service with an Indians family fare for only $10 round trip, or you can ride the Ohio City shuttle for free, or guarantee yourself some parking in the Gateway Garage with advanced purchase online. Log on to Indians.com for the full details.
A strike to Stephen Drew, who had a base hit his first time up. Checked, and it was up high.
Oh, he went. They appealed.
He went too far already, 0-2.
Paul Emmel down at third said, oh, yes, he did. From our vantage point, it didn't look like it, but certainly from his, it did.
Took off. In the dirt. Outside and a full count. A lot of those tonight already as well, Rick.
Yeah, 0-2 to 3-2, and it's 5 full counts. 4 hitters in a row,
huh? And he walked him. Good at bat for Stephen Drew.
Yeah,
they've had a lot of good at bats tonight, have the A's.
Yoenis Cespedes in his first at-bat fouled off, I think, 6 straight. And watch him. He's beating himself up in the process. Again. Then he gets to a 3-2 count, and Hernandez tries to throw one inside, and he hit a bullet off the wall for a double. They were able to hit a sac fly and get a run in on the inning, but he put up a terrific at-bat.
So Yoenis Cespedes steps in here with 1 on, 1 out. And Roberto Hernandez about to make his 65th pitch already with 1 out here in the third.
Well, the reason being they have 6 hitters that have seen 6 or more pitches. You know, and this isn't an Oakland team. We're not talking about the Yankees here or big top
no,
Texas
we're talking
Rangers.
About the dead last team in batting average in the league.
They're second in walks. They're tied with the Indians coming into the game with 400. Now they have 425. but you wouldn't expect them to really work you to death.
There's a drive to deep right. Back is Chu on the track at the wall. Can't make the catch. Off the wall it goes. They're going to try and wave Drew around. Now they put the stop sign on, and he stays at third with only one out. So Cespedes almost drove one out of here to the opposite field. His second consecutive double of the night.
That's what he did out in Oakland. The strength. He hit a line drive off the left field wall the first time. Now, Hernandez goes with a breaking ball away, and he almost hits it out of the ballpark into right center field at the 375-foot sign. So, I mean, he gave it a ride. Drew didn't get a real good jump. They're not going to take a chance. That ankle still looks ginger, or he's not really running at full strength. So they decided to stop him at third. So, again, it's second and third, one out, and it'll give Smith an opportunity for another easy RBI situation.
Yeah, they got to pull the infield in.
Yeah, but this is a strange.
It sure is with the shift on.
I don't know if I've ever seen with the infield in, and you only have you have shortstop open,
and they pound him inside for a strike.
Donald has to stay at third base because of the runner. Weird defense.
Well, and then obviously the plan is to pound him in. Maybe
make him pull the ball on the ground. I understand what their thinking is here, but I mean it just looks weird. I don't think I've ever seen that before. They're going to force him to try and pull the ball on the ground. He hit the sacrifice fly to center field straight away his last time up.
Missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I guess it all comes down to execution by the pitcher. You know, with Hernandez locating the ball where you want it. He called out Marson this time. Boy, you got to love hitting behind Cespedes if you're Smith. You walk up twice in this ballgame, second and third, 1 out opportunity. You're licking your chops. He's looking to score for the 3rd consecutive inning.
Hernandez and Marson done with their conversation. Now Manny Acta wants to come out and have a say. So the skipper coming out, pulls the infield together. So they'll talk things over with Seth Smith at the plate. And Chris Carter due up next. Oakland already leading it 2-0. Happy birthday wishes tonight go out to Harriet Savick in Ashland, celebrating her 92nd birthday. I'm told she's Harriet. A huge fan, watches every ball game.
Happy birthday, Harriet. And also to Tim Ames of Madison, who is turning 65. A light day on the birthday.
What do we got here? We got an injury situation? I think we do.
No kidding. I didn't.
Well, Manny's looking into the dugout. He was asking for something.
I said Carmona called Marson out. Hernandez.
I don't see anybody in the bullpen immediately, but it does look like Chris Seddon's going to get up.
Yeah, it does. I
think Hernandez is done.
On. He might be.
I don't know what happened, though, Rick.
His 3rd start, he's walking off with Manny Acta. I don't either. I did see him call Marson out, and then Manny Acta went running out. Let's check out the pitch. The sinker inside. Now watch him call out Marson. Come here. Called him out. There's something wrong.
Yeah.
In his 3rd start. I don't know if his shoulder. I thought somebody was pointing to their shoulder.
A lot of times it's not any one pitch necessarily, but it was something maybe he was trying to work his way through it and then realized, hey, this is not getting any better.
Well, we'll find out, I'm sure. They'll go in there. They'll have to check him out. And, during the time of this game, we will find out. But Chris Seddon's going to have all the time he wants to get loose.
Manny Acta takes a seat on the bench as Roberto Hernandez will be evaluated, obviously, now by the team's medical staff. Chris Seddon coming on out of the bullpen, ice cold. He'll get all the time he needs to get loose and get ready. And while he does that, we'll step aside with the A's on top, 2-0. 2-0 Oakland. And Chris Seddon out of the Indians' bullpen getting loose. This will be his 7th appearance of the season. Made a couple of starts before going to the bullpen. He might be back in a rotation.
I was going to say, the good thing is he made a couple of starts, so he is stretched out. It's not to where he can only go a couple innings. So depending on what happened to Hernandez, he might be able to step into the rotation, because I remember he made a start in Detroit. So we'll see what happens, but he gets all the time he wants. He's going to come in with runners on second and third. That guy, 2 at-bats against Carmona. He might have had a headache facing him tonight. That's the problem. He's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles tonight. In the first inning, he lined a double down the left field line. A 3-2 pitch goes off the wall after fouling off about 7 or 8 pitches. And then the next at-bat, a breaking ball away, hits it off the wall to right center field. Both times there were 1 out and there was 1 man on. Both times doubles, ending up at second and third and giving Smith, the DH, an opportunity to drive in a run.
So the Indians still have the same alignment defensively. 3 shifted on the right side. Now 1 ball, 1 strike count for Smith. And a liner right to Kipnis for out number 2. And now with the right-handed hitting Chris Carter coming up, they'll go back to a normal alignment.
It may have looked strange, but look at that. They're right in position. Never had to take a step. Hit it right at Kipnis at second base.
Down low with the breaking ball. Carter, he lined out to third his first time up. Two balls, no strikes. 2 down, runners second and third. Oakland on top 2-0. They got a sac fly in the first and a solo homer from Josh Reddick in the second. A little bit low, 3-0. Now the 3-0. And Carter hits a ground ball by Lillibridge. That's going to score 1. And they put the brakes on Cespedes. 3-0 Oakland as Carter picks up his 27th run batted in on the year.
Don't know. He was down 3-0 in a count to the right hander. You have the lefty on deck, but why do you throw it on the inside part of the plate is my question. And if you throw it in there, you better get it in. 3-0, if the guy's swinging, he's going to look for his best spot in his power slot to let it go. And most hitters like the ball middle in that they can do some damage with. Now he gets the base hit on a 3-0 count. It's a 2-out base hit and increases the lead to 3-zip.
Reddick pops it up. Kipnis calls for it. Inning over. Oakland adds to their lead. They've scored 1 in every frame. They lead 3-0. Bottom of the third, Brent Lillibridge will lead off for the Tribe. And a pitch down low. Ball one. Brett Anderson misses outside with a fastball. And it's a ball and a strike. Big breaking ball.
He's got a sharp breaking ball tonight.
I mean, it's his second start, and he looks like he's in mid-season form.
I'll tell you, he's got a sharp breaking ball. That has been a money pitch. We're only in the third inning.
Up high, around the letters, 2-2. Got him to chase that off-speed pitch. Anderson gets his second strikeout, one down here in the third. League leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. Oakland trailing only Tampa Bay in team earned run average.
Yeah, Seattle up there, Yankees up there, and of course the Rangers, who are coming in this weekend, are up there. So all these teams we played in the last couple of weeks.
Big curveball hit on the ground at third. There's Donaldson, and he throws him out 2 away. Here's our minor league report brought to you by University Hospitals. Russ Kanzler yesterday went 3 for 4 with a homer, 2 ribeyes, and a double. I think there's a good chance we'll see him, hopefully in September.
Why not?
Marson checks it. It's a strike. Two and one for Marson, as Anderson tries to set him down. 1-2-3 for the third straight inning. Slow chopper foul. And Steve Smith with the old bare hand flip. Time called as Lou steps away. And the 2-2. Hit to center. Coco got a great read on it. And he'll make the catch for out number 3. 9 up, 9 down. Through 3. It's Oakland 3, Cleveland nothing. And for the A's, the bottom third of their order due up. It'll be Josh Donaldson, Derek Norris, and Cliff Pennington.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing, this will be the second time for them. Getting ready to go back to the third time. The A's have scored one in each of the first 3 innings.
Swing and a miss by Josh Donaldson, who bounced to short his first time up. High pop. And Chu in right field has it, one away. Hey, don't miss Subway Browns post-game live Thursday night following the Browns-Bears game. Michael Regai will have post-game player interviews, press conferences. It's the Subway Browns post-game live Thursday night after the Browns battle the Bears. And then that's it. That's the final dress rehearsal before they tee it up and kick it off for real. And Chris Seddon facing Derek Norris, who popped up on the infield his first time up. Two balls, no strikes. Speaking of teeing it up and kicking it off for real, the high school football season already underway, and great to have the Boardman High School Spartans marching band here tonight. They play the national anthem, and then they're all seated out there in the bleachers. They'll be gearing up for another big game this weekend. 3-0 pitch, a fastball in there for strike one. Seddon delivers, and he pops him up. Marson near the on-deck circle has the catch. 2 down. Going to bring up Cliff Pennington. Grounded out to short his first time up. Up and away. 2 balls, no strikes. Missed again, 3-0. Seddon deals, and a fastball in there. If you just tuned in or joined us late, Roberto Hernandez started tonight, but in the 3rd inning after a pitch to Seth Smith. He asked for the catcher, Lou Marson, to come out. Then the trainer came out, and then Hernandez left the game. Still waiting to hear why. But Chris Seddon has come on, and he has a 1-2-3 inning. A's go in order for the first time tonight. Progressive Field. A's lead the Indians 3-0. Bottom of the fourth inning. Top of the order here for the Tribe as Jason Kipnis leads off and Brett Anderson with a first pitch strike. Matt Underwood, Rick Manning with you, and we're so happy to be joined now by United States Navy Admiral Sandy Winnefeld, who was with us before the ball game and throughout today's ceremonial first pitch. And Admiral, you've probably flown every exotic and high-powered machinery in the Navy, so compared to that, the first pitch tonight must have been a walk in the park.
Well, you never know until you get out there and you actually have that baseball in your hand, as I'm sure many of these wonderful pitchers out here know. But it was a real treat, a real honor to be able to come out here and do this tonight.
And you threw a strike, and you threw it to Sandy Alomar. We're showing it right here. Watch the strike. Nicely done. Sandy's right there. Perfect.
There you go. Dream come true to be able to throw it to a stalwart like Sandy Alomar that I followed so much younger when I was younger.
You spent a lot of time in San Diego, and that's where Sandy and his brother Roberto grew up, right?
Absolutely. So to be able to shake hands, get a signed baseball from Sandy Alomar, and then throw him the first pitch, what a neat thing.
Now, this is Navy Week here in Cleveland, going on throughout the city, and here at the ballpark we'll be celebrating with some events throughout the week. What does it mean for you, and why is this important?
Well, first of all, Cleveland has been very, very hospitable to the Navy. Here we are celebrating the anniversary of the War of 1812. Lots of great events this week hosted by the city of Cleveland and the Indians, who've been very kind to the Navy to bring a lot of sailors into the stands to let the chief of the boat of the USS Ohio throw out the first pitch tomorrow night. So very grateful to this wonderful city and the Cleveland organization.
Of course, you served on USS Cleveland at one point.
I was the commanding officer of USS Cleveland in 1998 and 1999. So it was a real thrill for me to be able to return the Chief Wahoo flag tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Jim Folk, you exchanged it to him, and they gave you a new one?
That's right. Well, actually, the ship has been decommissioned.
Get out.
Nice diving catch in right field by Reddick for out number 2.
That's a tough one. But it was really a neat opportunity to bring the flag that we flew over that ship in combat during humanitarian assistance operations and the like, to bring it back to this town.
Yeah, nice.
All right, now when I was a senior in high school, Top Gun came out. And you were an instructor at Top Gun out there in Miramar, California. How much did that one movie do for recruiting and getting people interested in the Navy and flying fighter planes?
Well, it was a real watershed for the Navy. We had never experienced anything quite like that. Tom Cruise and company went out there, and we weren't really sure whether this was going to be a good thing or not. And it turned out to be terrific for both naval aviation and the Navy in general.
It was a great movie, too. I loved watching it.
The beginning of that movie is spine-tingling. I think it really captures what life is like on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier.
We can't even imagine. I mean, just watching the pictures and seeing the movies, it doesn't do it justice to what you've actually experienced in your career. But thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciate all that you do for the country and everything you have done.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Rick.
Oh, nice.
Best wishes to the
Have
Cleveland
a
organization.
great week. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Navy Admiral Sandy Winnefeld with us here tonight. 3-0 Oakland after 4. with 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. By Levin's, home of the CLE Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. By Kia, Cleveland.com. And by First Merit Bank. All right, we go to the fifth inning, 3-0 Oakland. And a pitch in there for a called strike to Coco Crisp. Coco batting right-handed for the first time tonight, 0 for 2. He's fly to right, popped out to third.
Found it interesting after we went off the air. He said hitting was a lot like landing one of those planes on an aircraft carrier. I found it hard to believe, but the way he put it, it was interesting.
Well, you know, he talked about it being a right brain activity and how they draw some of the parallels to, you know, landing an aircraft, to, you know, throwing a baseball and some of the things that are involved. As you said, the stakes are a little higher.
Yeah, if you don't get a hit, yeah, you can't lose your life, I wouldn't think.
Coco Crisp grounds out, one away.
But that's going to be going on all week now through Sunday down here at the ballpark.
Well, we had Marine Week earlier this summer.
Yes, we did. I believe you were off the one night we had it on a Friday night. For some reason, we had a guy in from Niagara Falls. That was from Niagara Falls, and he was in charge of the Marines. We had a good time with him. Sergeant Major Michael Barrett.
That's fouled out of play. Well, one of the things we didn't get a chance to talk to the Admiral about, he was the commanding officer of the Enterprise on September the 11th. And when those attacks happened here in the United States, he turned that aircraft carrier around and sent it right to the Persian Gulf. And, you know, they were ready for action almost immediately thereafter. Those are the guys that are out there on the front lines. Stephen Drew has singled and scored and walked and scored. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he popped him up. Out goes Kipnis. And Chu calls him off and makes a running catch. 2 down. And let's go back right now to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pulaski.
Hey, man, Rick, good game going in Baltimore tonight. Just 1 run has been scored. It came off Francisco Liriano here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. A solo home run by Lou Ford, his first of the year. That's been it. Baltimore's ahead 1-0. Bottom of the 4th inning at Camden Yards. Matt?
All right, thanks, Al. Here is Yoenis Cespedes, who has doubled in both at-bats tonight. The first time he doubled off the wall in left on a line drive. The next time up, he doubled off the wall in right.
Well, then heads up in center.
But this is his first time facing Chris Seddon. Right after Cespedes doubled off the wall in right, Roberto Hernandez threw 2 pitches to the next batter, Seth Smith, and then left the game.
Still haven't heard anything about him.
High pop. Laporta into foul territory. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Chris Seddon. And it remains Oakland 3, Cleveland nothing, middle of the 5th. All right, we're back here at Progressive Field where they've announced in between innings that Roberto Hernandez left tonight's game with a sprained right ankle, and he is day-to-day. Charged with 3 runs in 2 1/3 innings of work tonight. Meanwhile, Brett Anderson has retired all 12 that he has faced. He has struck out 3.
Well, now this is the 13th batter. He has 11 first pitch strikes. He's averaging 11 pitches per inning. And he's grabbing the ball, getting it, and firing strikes. Indians searching for their first hit.
Up and away. Jason Donald's probably had the best bolt so far for the Tribe, but Josh Reddick made a fine diving catch in right field. High pop. Carter into foul territory, and he reaches over the railing and hangs on for out number 1.
He was drifting over there, and it made it a much tougher catch for him. A lot of times, and there's so much foul territory in Oakland where we showed you when we were out there. When these guys go on the road, it's a lot more difficult for them, but the key is to get over to your position where you want to be and not drift in. He still made the catch, but it's a lot easier when you can get there first and work your way back out.
Little chopper again by Brantley. Almost the same exact play. This time they'll have to flip it. No, he's safe at the bag. Pennington, Anderson all converging with Carter at the same time. And that was nearly an ugly collision.
That was almost the identical play that Michael hit on his first one, except Carter took it that time. This time he could not take it. And I'll tell you, it was a really heads-up play by Pennington. Although there was going to be a little congestion because you've got 3 guys converging. You've got the base runner, you have the pitcher, and you've got Pennington. Let's see if Pennington's foot's there. He's out if he catches the ball. He would have been out. His foot was on the back of the bag. If he catches it, let's see. He's there. He's out.
Yep.
Same time as last time out, he would have been out just by when Carter hit the bag. They get a hit. The Indians catch a break.
That's the first hit of the game.
And I'm going to tell you something. I hope the Indians get a lot more, but I'll tell you, he was out on that play.
So first base umpire Jerry Meals incorrectly calling Brantley safe. The Indians have their first base runner.
Great play by Pennington to come all the way from second base, actually beat the pitcher there. That's what made it the confusing play because the pitcher was converging with Pennington and Brantley at the same time when the flip got there, and he was confused. Yeah, and another thing the A's do well, let's take another look at it. I mean, there's the flip. Nicely done by Carter. There's the foot on the base, and he had the ball in his glove prior to that foot going on the base. We showed you on that different angle.
Yeah, the angle, the replay we showed you before was pretty definitive.
It sure was. That one was it was not as good. That's been his pitch tonight, that breaking ball. Now it seems like a couple of hitters starting to lay off that pitch. They were swinging at it that first time through. These A's, the pitching staff as well, has 20 pickoffs this year.
Ground ball to short, double play ball. And the A's turn 2 to end the inning. I can't help but think about Armando Galarraga and Jim Joyce after that missed call at first by Jerry Meals.
Restaurant to pick up your Wahoo Bucks $5 discount coupons for the Subway Extreme Fan Zone to an upcoming home game. It's the place to be for a chance to win Subway gift cards, Indians fun money, and get great discounts on your next Subway purchase. Subway, where winners eat.
Three 0 Oakland, 6th inning. Seth Smith, Chris Carter, Josh Reddick coming up here. And a ground ball right into the teeth of the shift. Kipnis throws out Smith, 1 away. Game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. In the first inning, Seth Smith with a sacrifice fly made it 1-zip A's. Josh Reddick a solo homer in the second. And then in the third, Chris Carter with a 2-out RBI single. That's all the scoring. That's all the facts. The Indians have just 1 hit. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Chris Edenson's coming on, has made 33 pitches, now 17 balls against 16 strikes. But he has settled in to retire 8 in a row. 1-1.
Well, he's going to have to continue to put zeros on that board the way Brett Anderson's pitching. You know, it is amazing because you're watching it every day. It's a different day, different team, but same scenario here offensively. Through 5, they got 1 hit, and that was a bad call, really.
Out of play. Yeah, they've been consistent, but the wrong kind of consistent that you're looking for.
Oh, poof. Well, and that we talked about, it puts that much more pressure on the pitchers. I mean, the pitchers know that they've struggled for a little while there, but, you know, they've really reeled it back in and have done a decent job. But when you can't score, you know, it's tough. Pitchers can't go out there and be perfect every night and go up there and throw zeros out until you score. They held the Yankees to 8 runs in a 3-game series, and they lose 2 out of 3. That shouldn't happen. You should win 2 out of 3 if that's the case against that ball club.
And is Dribble Cabrera getting a game off here tonight because Manny Acta just felt like he He needed a day off, so he looked tired, looked like physically he was beat up.
Yeah, these guys, again, the same guys have to go out there every night and do it every day. I mean, your main clogs, as Drubel at short, Kipnis at second, Brantley in center. Santana's going to play somewhere, whether he's DHing or catching. And Chu and right. They wear down too.
Well, and the other thing, as Carter strikes out, that we talked about in that Yankee series, game 1, it was Jeter and Swisher. They carried the load. They did all the work.
Right.
It wasn't them every game. For the Indians, it's got to be Cabrera and Santana and Chu and Kipnis and Brantley. Otherwise, the bottom of the lineup hasn't been able to take the pressure off of those guys.
And it's not a home run hitting team. They don't drive the ball. They don't score a lot of runs. So they got to manufacture. They need walks. And they're playing the wrong team to get walks to help them, ignite their offense.
That, by the way, is the first strikeout for Indians pitching tonight. And Josh Reddick, who popped up on the infield his last time up, homered back in the second inning. Low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Right back to us. Oh, just a little low. Getting closer.
Yeah, we had one off the wall yesterday and one just a little short of our booth today. No, they can miss us. You don't want a bone bruise, do you?
Well, you had one earlier this year, didn't you?
Tampa.
That's what it was.
Remember I caught it? Pulled a MacGyver.
Kind of. Kipnis flags it down, throws, and now they call him safe. Reddick aboard with an infield single, and we'll need another look at that one. No protest from the Tribe, so.
Well, you'll see Kipnis really he had to take quite a few steps before he could stop and get the throw out. But there again, I don't know. That angle he looked out. Let's see. He's out, I thought.
Yep. Right back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Set and ready. He's going to go to first and back with a dive easily there is Reddick. He has 10 steals. Remember when we were in Oakland, he was suffering with a tooth issue. He was sitting in the dugout with a big bag of ice on the side of his face in between innings. Two and one. That's going to go out of play. Nice recovery. Guy in the front row didn't want to let go of the drink he had in his one hand, so he was trying to battle that ball with his free hand, bobbled it, went forward onto the little scoreboard in front of him, and he Scooped it up to save it.
It's popcorn.
Oh, he's hanging onto his popcorn. Well, that makes all the sense in the world.
Don't you? You're in the club seat. You can eat all you want to eat.
That's right. Drop the popcorn.
Drop the popcorn.
Use
get
two
the
hands.
ball. Go back up and get a bucket load.
2-2. Back to the screen. Still the play of the year is in Toronto.
Yeah, I agree.
The no hands catch in Toronto. That was the best.
The no hands. It was cradled into the lap.
Chris Seddon has made 50 pitches since coming on. And the 2-2. Hit in the air to left. And Shelley Duncan will make the catch. The side is retired. We'll go to the bottom of the sixth. It's still Oakland 3, Cleveland nothing. Three 0 A's on top. Bottom of the sixth inning. Bottom third of the Indians' order coming up here. Brent Lillibridge, Matt Laporta, and Lou Marson. And Anderson misses low for ball one. Lillibridge struck out his first time up. Anderson has not looked like a guy making his second start of the year.
No.
His 60th pitch of the night fouled back out of play.
Well, starting with Lillibridge right there, that 2-0 count, that was his first one of the game. He's been dominating, pounding the first pitch strikes.
And for the most part, I mean, he's been getting it, and it's been coming right back at you in a hurry. Breaking ball, a hanger, driven deep left center field. They won't get this one. Off the wall it goes. And into second base with a solid ringing double is Brent Lillibridge. And the Indians get their leadoff man aboard here in the sixth.
Well, Lillibridge, he swung at that breaking ball his first time up to strike out, but he didn't this time. He sized it up, and he left that one middle of the plate, and he made him pay. Brent hits that ball to left center field, short hop the wall. He'll go cruising into second base with his fourth double.
Matt Laporta ground out his first time up. Hit hard but foul. Up, and he chased after it. And well out of the strike zone.
Yep,
One down here in the 6th. Our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. This was the play that got the Indians their first hit of the night. It appeared that Brantley was out. And this was the play in the 9th inning of a would-have-been perfect game for Armando Galarraga.
Yeah.
Jim Joyce just missed it.
Similar kind of play, boy. He took abuse. That would have been a perfect game. Well, the good thing, it didn't happen here. This one play was back in the 5th inning. And then Lowellbridge gets a legitimate hit here, so nothing to worry about.
Lou Marson fly to center his first time up. Lou takes a strike. He's down on the count now, 1-2. Back out of play. After losing the last 2 to these A's, Tampa Bay, who began the day 4 games back of the Yankees in the AL East, now down in Texas taking on the Rangers, who lead the AL West by 5.5 games. It's an interesting matchup there. The Rangers have that terrific offense against the Rays pitching. 3-3 in the 3rd inning in that game.
Well, you know they're going to score down there. That's one thing. Texas starting to loosen it up offensively. It's a tie ball game, but the Yankees are beating Toronto 6-3.
Toronto, like the Indians, has just fallen apart here in the second half. The Blue Jays have lost 7 in a row and are 56-70. Marson with a solid liner to left, and Cespedes almost overran that ball as he came in, but he makes the catch.
Marson's hit the ball on the nose twice and has absolutely nothing to show for it. He had a liner to center and a liner to left.
Our great clip of the game from yesterday. Jason Kipnis did it all, man. He had 3 stolen bases in the ball game. Took the ball the other way, hit it down the line off the bag. Fine defensive gem here. Great clips. It's going to be great. And now the trainer coming out to check out Brett Anderson for Oakland. Bob Melvin out to check on his left-handed ace, who says he's fine.
He slipped after he released the ball. Watch him. See, he went down on his foot. He was he wanted to see if that was going to be a base hit. His front foot, his landing foot went down and just stumbled. We didn't see anything like that for Hernandez. He said he was all right. He's fine.
So with 2 down and a runner at second, here is Jason Kipnis, 0 for 2 on the night. That curveball slipped out of his hand.
He had one like that to Brantley earlier.
Goes for a little extra rosin. Comes back with that curveball, but hangs it up high, 2-0. Almost nicked him with the fastball. 3 balls, no strikes. Jason Donald waiting on deck. Fastball, and he grooves it for 1. Pitch number 75 coming up here for the A's left-hander. Lillibridge at second with 2 down. Up high, it's ball 4. And the Indians have 2 on with 2 out for Jason Donald, who was robbed of a hit his last time up. Hit the ball hard to right field, but Josh Reddick with a nice diving stop.
Well, come on down to the ballpark for Fireworks Friday night. It's presented by Brilliant Electric Sign Company. You can see the Indians take on the Texas Rangers, who will be in for the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Enjoy a post-game fireworks tribute to your favorite Broadway musicals. Log on to Indians.com.
Fouled back. Oh, a good breaking ball. Donald checks, it's 0-2. This was the play Reddick made when Donald looked like he had the first hit of the game back in the 4th inning.
Yeah, the Admiral was up in the booth in that inning, and he did make a fine running catch.
See if JD can come through here with 2 down on the count 0-2. Curveball, chopper to short. And Drew with the flip ends the inning. 6 complete. The A's 3, the Indians nothing.
Right here at the ballpark on Wednesday night, it's Puppy Palooza, sponsored by the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. There is still time for you to get a ticket for you and your pooch to come on out here to the ballpark. It's also Sugardale Dollar Dog Night. And if that's not enough for you, you can always stop by the concession stands and check out those classic combo deals, only $8. All the information is online for you right now at Indians.com.
Wow.
ZZ Top.
Huh? Look at the A's guy with the beard he's rocking there.
Uh-huh.
Breaking ball, strike one to Derek Norris, the A's catcher, 0 for 2. Chris Seddon has done a nice job.
Yes, he has. He's done a great job. He certainly has. He's held the fort. One mistake, he gave up one hit. It was a 3-0 pitch to Carter. It was a single that drove in the third run. It was charged to Hernandez.
In the dirt, 2-1 the count. Up high, 3 balls and a strike. And it's called ball 4. First walk issued by Seddon, and the A's have their leadoff man aboard for the first time since the second inning. Back to the studios, and here's Al.
All right, man, let's head down to Arlington, where Tampa Bay was up 2-0 in the second inning, but the Rangers get to David Price here. Back-to-back homers. Adrian Beltre is 25th. Nelson Cruz is 21st. Right now the game is tied at 3, and they're only in the third inning in Texas. Rangers and Rays tonight in Texas, Matt.
All right, thanks, Al. There's a line drive to left field. Shelley Duncan on the move makes the catch. 1 away. Right-hander Cody Allen getting up in the Tribe bullpen as Coco Crisp 0 for 3 on the night takes aim on Chris Seddon. There's Cody. Chop to third. Donald goes to second. There's one. Kipnis turns 2. So Chris Seddon gets a double play ball and gets out of trouble. Stretch time at Progressive Field, brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic's free walking program. Get a look in from our Panini camera. Stop by and get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill. Brett Anderson has been terrific for Oakland, giving up just 2 hits.
Boy, he really has.
And one of those was a legitimate double off the wall in left center by Brent Lillibridge.
Now, we told you in his first start, it came against the Minnesota Twins. He went 7 innings and gave up 4 hits, allowed a run. He struck out 6, didn't walk anybody. He's into the 7th inning now. And so far, this one has been a better ball game. So this guy may be stepping in at the right time for them. I mean, in this 4-game series, we know we're getting Tommy Malone tomorrow night, and then it's to be determined for the next 2 nights for Oakland. They may have to make some moves. I'm not sure if we'll see a McCarthy.
Well, we've heard it before, too. You know, a team gets a guy off the DL late in the year, and they say, oh, it's kind of like making a trade.
Right.
Well, for Oakland, that really is true because you lost Cologne. And then this guy just steps right into the lurch.
Yeah, and he was your best when he left. Now it's just a matter, after coming off the surgery, you rarely see him come off sharp as he is.
Well, that's the thing. Normally, it takes a while to build up to that point. He looks like he hasn't missed a start.
Well, arm strength is there, but it's usually command, and his command has been pretty darn good.
Answer to the AT&T trivia question. We were all over this one. Reggie Jackson, Tomey, A-Rod. Darrell Evans took us a while to get that one. And Darrell Evans, by the way, really interesting, has the longest span between 40 homer seasons in the history of baseball.
Hit it in Atlanta and then with Detroit, right?
Yeah, and that was a span of, I want to say it was 12 years.
Mm-hmm. I remember when he hit it in Detroit, playing against him there, but he came up and had a 40 home run season early in his career in Atlanta.
Yeah, 73, and then he did it with Detroit in 85.
You're right.
And hit a lot in between, but never 40 in a single season.
40 was a lot back then, man.
Yeah, that's
once again that left-hander that stood right on the plate, was quick inside, and he would hook it.
Well, the Boardman.
Oh, there you
Spartan
go.
marching band, the drum section helping out John Adams
John
tonight.
had triplets over the weekend.
The 1-1 in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. Maybe his drum did.
Yeah. Well, he's got some helpers tonight. They're having fun.
Up high, 3-1 the count.
They'll have a lot more fun if the Indians could put something on the board.
Yeah. And it's ball 4. Second walk issued by Anderson. And a 1-out base runner now for Michael Brantley. On this date, 1997.
Oh, I remember
on his
this.
birthday. Out in Anaheim, they all rolled up the socks in tribute to Big Jim, and then they went out and had themselves a hit party against the Halos.
I'll tell you what, I remember that got them rolling. They continued to do that the rest of the year in '97, didn't they? With the socks.
They stayed with the socks up
High
the rest of the
socks.
way. Indians scored 10 runs in that game. 10 runs in 1 inning in that game. Matt Williams had, what, 6 ribbies? Marquise Grissom had 4.
Wow.
Outside to Michael Brantley. Ground ball to second. Pennington goes to second, but he misfires. Drew can't haul it in, and the Indians have 2 on with a 1 out. Pennington probably should have just taken the sure out at first, but he was thinking about turning 2.
Yeah, and even if he goes to get the lead runner, you have to make sure you just give him a good feed. You can't rush that throw to him. Let him stay on the bag. Just make sure. They had time to get Santana. He just got a little too quick for himself.
Yeah.
Get the lead runner and don't worry about turning 2. But like you said, if you're going to rush it, go ahead and just make sure you get an out on the plate. Now, the Indians take advantage of it. There's an error and a walk. You've got first and second. They've given you 2 base runners. Now what can they do with them? You're going to get an extra out in the inning.
Shelley Duncan hit into a double play his last time up. And looks at the ball down low. Anderson at 90 pitches now on the night. And a strike to the outside corner. Evens the count at 1-1. Swung on and missed. He was trying to hit that one over the bleachers.
Trying to tie the game. Pulled the string on him and had him out in front. Yes, he did.
He got him. 2 down. 5th strikeout for Brett Anderson tonight.
Yeah, went with that good breaking ball he's had tonight, and you change your approach after that one good swing he took trying to tie the game up. When you get to 2 strikes, that's when you change your approach, and he didn't, and he ended up chasing a pitch out of the zone.
Now Brent Lillibridge, who doubled in his last time up. High school football on STO kicks off every Monday with High School Sports Insider. Then Friday, Mike Cairns has the high school kickoff show at 3:30. STOHD.com has your complete listing of high school football games of the week this week. Glenville Solon Friday night on STO. Lillibridge with the liner to right. On the run is Reddick. Makes the catch to end the inning. Indians strand a pair here in inning number 7, and we'll go to the 8th. 3-0 Oakland.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
Cody Allen is coming on to work for the Indians now as we go to the 8th inning. 4 2/3 scoreless innings of relief for Chris Seddon.
Great job by Seddon. There's no doubt. He held them in. Chris Seddon did a great job. Now he's going to turn it over to Allen. Cody coming on for the 14th time. Gave up his first run in his last outing against the Yankees. First hit off a left-hander got. It was a 2-run home run. Cost him a ball game. But hey, you're going to give it up sooner or later. The young man has done a nice job since being here.
He'll be facing Stephen Drew, Yoenis Cespedes, and Seth Smith here in the 8th for Oakland. High fly ball to left. Back goes Duncan. 1 away. Here's our in-game box score brought to you by your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, who invite you to see the all-new 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today. Cespedes got off to a great start with doubles in his first 2 at-bats. He set up a couple of scoring opportunities for Oakland. Seth Smith drove in 1 run. Chris Carter drove in the other, and Josh Reddick with a solo homer. That's been it. Story of the game really is Brett Anderson of Oakland, who's pitched a 2-hit shutout through 7. That's fouled out of the glove of Marson. No balls, 2 strikes. Texas has gone ahead of Tampa 5-3 in the 4th down in Arlington. White Sox Orioles tied 2-2 there in the 6th in Baltimore. Yankees lead the Jays 6-4 in the 7th in New York. Boston beat KC earlier today 5-1. In the air, right field, Chu, a routine pop-up here. 2 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Josh Reddick homered in the game, but watch the fan in the outfield seats. Oh, yeah, basket-style catch. Had it all the way.
Willie Mays. He wasn't too aggressive with that, though. He's sort of laying back on it. But he did make the catch. Good play.
Hard hit ball foul. He's chilling now. He's got a souvenir. Off-speed pitch, and Smith did well to lay off. 1-1 to count. And that ball's ripped to right. 2-out single keeps the inning going for Oakland. You can win a $100 gas card courtesy of your Northeast Ohio Shell retailer and True North convenience stores. Visit STOHD.com and enter for a chance to win. We'll have a new winner picked each week now until September 26th. Low and away for ball one. At the knees. Painted it. 1-1. Good off-speed pitch, and you can see Carter swing right over the top of it. And now Cody one pitch away from getting out of the inning. See if he comes right back to it.
Well, why not?
There it was. He went too far, and that'll end the inning. So Carter's a strikeout victim. We'll go to the last half of the eighth. 3-0 Oakland. Ryan Cook will come on now for Oakland after Brett Anderson went 7 innings of 2-hit shutout baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's the second time, his second start. He's gone 7 both times, tonight and against the Twins. Tonight he gave up 2 hits, Twins 4 hits. Didn't allow a run. He allowed 1 in this last start. Just 2 walks, didn't walk anybody, but 5 strikeouts. Guy was really good. He had a good breaking ball early. You can see the guy's having to swing at it. It had some vicious bite to it. A lot of times it was out of the strike zone, but 2 strikes and then a fastball. He buzzes you up top. Changes the eye level. It pitched very well tonight. Turns it over to Ryan Cook, who at one point was their closer this year.
Down low, ball 1 to Matt Laporta, who is 0 for 2.
Cook 12 saves on the year.
Fastball fouled back out of play. And it's 2-1. And a called strike evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Broken bat. And that's out of play. I'd say got in his kitchen a little bit.
Yeah, it was deep in there. Ran that fastball in. So he'll come up with a new piece of lumber.
Now the 2-2. Struck him out. 1 away here in the 8th. For every home run hit this year by the Indians, Rick and I are each donating $5, and Great Clips is donating $50 to the Gathering Place. Our season total, $6,840. Great needs, great deeds, Great Clips. Popped up, foul, out of play. And a slider. In for a called strike, and Marson down on the count of 1-2. Chopper over the mound. Coming on at second base, Pennington. Throws across his body on the money. 2 down, top of the order, Jason Kipnis. All right, here's the story earlier in the ballgame for the innings. Roberto Hernandez pitching 2 1/3 innings tonight. And he called for Lou Marson to come out, and then eventually Manny Acta came out. And then eventually Manny, looked like Manny made reference. I don't know if he was just, I think he was just brushing away a bug. We might have thought he was making reference to his neck or something. In any event, Roberto left the ball game, and then it was announced later he's got a right ankle sprain. And that's outside. The 1-2. Back out of play. Left-hander Jerry Blevins up for Oakland. Strike 3 called. Indians go 1-2-3. We'll go to the 9th. 3-0 Oakland. A's 9th inning. Cody Allen will stay on for a 2nd inning of relief. He'll face Josh Reddick, Josh Donaldson, and Derek Norris. And a swing and a miss by Reddick, who has 2 hits tonight, including a solo homer back in the 2nd, his 26th dinger on the year. There's a high drive, deep right center. Brantley on the move, on the front edge of the track. He's got it one away. But Chris Seddon really saved the bullpen tonight. Anytime your starter goes out in the 3rd inning, you need somebody to log some innings, and boy, Seddon did that and more. 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits allowed, 1 strikeout, didn't walk anybody.
Yeah, did a nice job. He really did. Stepped up, gave Maniac exactly what you have to do. Zeros and a nice performance.
Beg your pardon, he did walk 1. That was the double play. Derek Norris walked to lead off that inning, and then Coco hit into the double play to erase that. So, yeah, you got a feeling he's going to get another shot to be in the rotation if Hernandez is out for any length of time.
I would think so.
Again, it was announced after the game day to day, so Roberto Hernandez may be back to make his next start. Pop back out of play. Closer Grant Balfour warming now alongside the left-hander Blevins. Boy, Donaldson fooled by that off-speed pitch.
Yes.
Pops it straight up on the infield, now drifting out into shallow center. Brantley calls everybody off and makes the grab. 1 down. 2 down, excuse me. Second consecutive pop to center field, and it will bring up Derek Norris, who is 0 for 2 with a walk. High pop again. This one will stay on the dirt as Jason Kipnis makes the grab. The A's go 1-2-3. Last chance for the Tribe coming up. Here for the Indians, and Grant Balfour looking for his 15th save of the year. Balfour appearing for the 60th time, and he has been just a terrific acquisition for Oakland. Due up for the Indians, Jason Donald, Shin-Soo Choo, and Carlos Santana. In Oakland, they go bonkers when Balfour comes into the game. They get the heavy metal action going.
They were doing that for about 3 minutes. Murph loved it. He had to watch it. He's a hard rocker. And they stayed like that. I mean to tell you, it was hilarious. Well, he misses that now when he comes into this game, but he's looking for his 15th save. And since Balfour has been returned to the closer's role back on August 11th, he is 7 for 7 in safe situations. So he's going to come down and in a 3-0 ball game. The Indians with only 2 hits on the night.
Donald 0 for 3. Chu 0 for 3. Santana 0 for 2 with a walk. That's who's coming up here in the 9th for the Indians. The Indians on the verge of being shut out for the 7th time by Oakland since 2010. They've been shut out by the Tigers, Twins, and the Rays 4 times since 2010. Oakland has done it 6 times. And again, 3 outs away from making it a 7th goose egg. And Balfour delivers a strike over the outside corner. Swung on and missed. Good fastball. It's 0-2. Went outside with it. And the count 1-2. Stay tuned for the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show. It's coming up after the ball game. Right here on Sports Time Ohio. Up high. And Norris mishandled the heater. 2-2. Balfour facing Donald, who's trying to get on to start the home half of the 9th for the Indians. And he strikes out, 1 away. It's going to bring up Chu, who is 0 for 3. He has twice grounded out. Once he has struck out. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. The 0-1 and a hard hit ground ball foul. Nothing into the count. Little bit outside. Chu almost offered at it, but was able to hold up. And a fastball hit high in the air, slicing into the seats. So Chu will stay alive with another opportunity. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Same game time. Zach McAllister, Tommy Malone, the soft tossing left-hander, who handcuffed the Indians last week in Oakland.
He went the 5 and fly last week, didn't he? He was 5 and out of there, but ended up getting the win.
Chu strikes out, 2 down. I guess he got a no decision in that game. August 17th. Let's remember he had a 12 days rest. He was pitching on an extended rest, but think that was when Oakland came back and won late 6-4. That was the Duncan Grand Slam game.
That was the
it?
8-5 game.
One and one to count on Santana. Swung right over the top of it, 1-2. A little bit high, 2 balls, 2 strikes. But Balfour 1 strike away from sending the Indians to their 24th loss in their last 29 games. Oakland, meanwhile, going the other way, trying to win for the 9th time in their last 11.
Well, you go back to the beginning of June, and they've been as good as anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody in baseball. I'm talking about anybody. The Yankees, the Washington.
Full count. Yeah, you look at that. Those numbers. Oakland 47 and 27.
Right.
Washington second. Cincinnati's third. The Yankees are fourth.
Those are the
Tigers are fifth.
Right.
20 games over 500 since June 2nd. School lets out. They turn it on. Ball 4. Indians still alive. Santana draws a 2-out walk. And Michael Brantley will be the batter. Two down, Brantley, 1 for 3, an infield hit back in the 5th. Balfour was ahead of Santana, but it looked like he was trying to get him to chase his pitch, and Santana wouldn't do it. Comes back, throws a first pitch strike. Santana moves down to second base on indifference. So no force now. And a strike called. It's quickly 0-2. Got him looking. 3 pitches ends the ball game. So Balfour gets a trio of strikeouts here in the 9th, and the Indians lose again. The final tonight: Oakland 3, Cleveland nothing. And the Indians have lost for the 24th time in their last 29 games. All right, our key play of the game brought to you by KeyBank.
Well, you look at today's starter, Brett Anderson, who was out there dealing. Second straight game, he's gone 7 innings, and it's only his second start. Coming off Tommy John surgery, had a terrific breaking ball working, ended up striking out 5. He walked 2, gave up just 2 hits, and was in total command of this ball game. He had guys swinging that ball out of the zone, riding the fastball up, so he was very good tonight.
Play of the game brought to you by KeyBank. Earn double rewards points during the KeyBank Summer of Rewards. Final numbers Oakland, 3 runs, 7 hits, 1 error, 5 left. Cleveland, no runs, 2 errors, 2 hits, no errors, 5 stranded. Winning pitcher, Brett Anderson, he's 2-0. The loser, Roberto Hernandez, he's 0-3. With the win, Oakland is now 70-57. The Tribe drops to 55-73. Time of the game, 2 hours, 41 minutes. The attendance, 13,018. We're back with the Conrad's postgame show next.